Hi, you're with me now, right now, in San Rafael del Sur, Nicaragua. My name is Kevin Fleming, the founder with my wife Maria of Playa Mariana. Okay, that's 8 kilometers south of Masachapa. And here in San Rafael del Sur, this is the local town of 75 to 80,000 people, where this is where the materials are, the supplies, the food, the medical, and everything that you're going to need to support yourselves living, investing, retiring here in Nicaragua. So to give you some perspective, San Rafael del Sur is 20 kilometers from the front door. Well, yeah, 20 kilometers from the front door of Playa Mariana. So it's not far. And so just a short drive, okay, and you have access to an entire community, an entire town that is essentially, I would say, a virgin town undisturbed by tourism right now. So I guess that might be a good thing or bad thing, depending upon, you know, how you perceive it as a Nicaraguan or a North American or somebody from Europe who wants to live and move to Nicaragua. Now, what I did was I went and talked to some locals over there first, because I'm going to do something I've never done before, which is rent one of these little bicycle guys. And I wanted to get a sense of what the price was to negotiate for a ride. So I'm going to try and do it right now. So bear with me. Hola muchacho. ¿Se abierto? ¿Listo? Or no, he's busy. I can't get that guy. So I am going to go try and maybe talk to that guy over there and wave somebody down. Make sure I don't get hit. All right. Muchacho. Maybe that's how you hail a bicycle taxi. Hola muchacho. ¿Listo? ¿Abierto? ¿Sí? ¿Listo? No. Yo quieres ayuda. Okay. So we're going to go try and rent one of these taxi guys. Hola, señor. No, su es lleno aquí. No? ¿Listo or no listo? ¿Listo? Okay, so this guy's going to give me a ride. I think he was going to go somewhere, but I'm not sure. So we're going to jump on one of these little taxi rides. And so I was saying, just before I crossed the street, that I was asking how much does one of the things cost to take a whole ride through town to the other end. And he said like 20 Cordobas, no more than that. And so we're going to see how much he's going to try and charge me. I'm going to negotiate a price in advance. And whatever it is, I'm going to pay it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to try and negotiate my best price just for the, not for the fun of it. That's not the right way to say it, but I just want to have the experience to see what's going on. And we'll see how much he values this particular ride. So bear with me. Hola muchacho. ¿Listo? I think this is where he lives. He was going to go somewhere with his TV, but somehow he's disappeared. So bear with me now until this guy comes back. I have nothing but patience, a little bit of time. We're on the way to Playa Mariana today because we have some guests in town that want to come and see one of the properties that we have for sale. So this person's taking a long time. So let's see if I can catch another guy. Okay, here we go. They don't want to stop me. Hola, señor. ¿Listo? No, yo quiero su ayuda. Wow, I'm finding it hard to get a ride today. It must be my white gringo face, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm not saying or hailing the ride correctly, but I'm going to keep trying until I get a ride. But you know what? Let's just walk. Let's just walk. Maybe that's the best way to do it. And that's what you do. So my goal is to rent one of these tricycle-looking carts. And I think what's happening right now, which is not surprising, they don't normally see tourists in this area, and probably not tourists holding a camera, okay, and filming. So when I reach out with my arm to say, hey, you know, I want to hire you, I think they just think I'm waving at them because I'm a tourist, because all they're doing is waving back at me. And that's kind of fun. So let's just keep walking. I'll just keep walking until I find somebody. And so they probably don't know that I actually want to hire them, because why? Although I do speak a little Spanish, I'm perhaps not hailing this taxi the way in which maybe the locals normally do. But that's okay. This is all part of the learning process and experiencing a new culture. So what you get instead is a walking tour of San Rafael del Sur right now, until such time as I find myself a taxi guide to take me. So who's interested in some roasted chicken? Right, there's some roasted chicken. And you know, I've eaten off the street before in Nicaragua, and it's completely fine, okay? Now, it's not to say that it's not impossible to get. Well, I'm going to try to get. Hola, señor. ¿Quieres ayuda? Yo necesito ayuda. Nope. He doesn't want to come back for me either. which is really strange. Don't you guys find that strange? For any Nicaraguans that are watching this video right now, okay, tell me what I'm doing wrong here. I must be doing something wrong because nobody wants to pick me up. That's kind of funny, right? Whoa, that bus was kind of close. Now my wife would say, don't stand so close to the street, so maybe I'll take her advice and walk over here. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. I saw there was a guy, a few more guys. I'm gonna have to walk up to a guy pretty soon. So let's just keep going. So when you're watching this video right now, you're on some Nicaraguan playlist, probably on YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Pinterest, wherever you're watching this video now. We have like 20 hours of videos of Nicaragua and Playa Mariana and different areas in and around the country, from Matagalpa, Esteli, Granada, Tola, Riva, San Rafael del Sur, Masachapa, Pochimil. There's so much video content for you to watch. So I highly encourage you to scroll through some of the other videos and go watch them, because you want to learn everything there is to do about local life in and around the areas. Sí, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, admirador. Una propiedad aquí para desarrollar junto con la tuya.
Sí, correcto. No, dígame, yo necesito un taxi. ¿Cuál es la de?
Taxi, más adelante.
Más adelante. ¿Cómo se llama? Gutiano. Gracias. That's so funny. That guy recognized me. I don't know who exactly that was, but you saw it firsthand. People are honking at me on the street in San Rafael del Sur and recognizing me. That's kind of funny. It's kind of weird, strange. At the same time, that hasn't happened too often. It usually happens more in Managua, believe it or not, and in Granada. I think because of all the videos that we're making of late, people are starting to recognize what it is that I love about Nicaragua and why I'm so passionate about this country. So for those of you who don't know, I've been in Nicaragua for 22 years, meeting my wife Maria, who's Nicaraguan. I have 2 kids that were born in Nicaragua, one in the US, one in Canada. So that's 4 total, if you can believe it. And it's been an amazing 22 years developing real estate and property in Nicaragua. Now, between the economy and other factors, it hasn't always been easy, but it's always been fun and interesting. That is for sure. I love this country, the challenges that it presents, the opportunities that you see, the ability to get into the local life and the local culture and be welcomed. Now, that's not to say that you're not always welcomed. I guess that happens in every country. But I've yet to experience a part of Nicaragua where people are unfriendly, or they don't want to help, or it's something that they don't want to see the progress of the country go forward. Because just like in another video, I was talking to one of the workers, right? San Rafael del Sur, everybody. It's so funny. I'm walking, and my driver is following me. So you know what? I am having more fun, I think, just walking right now, that I'm gonna just keep walking the whole entire town. Let's go through the market. Let's go check it out. All right, come on. You guys have seen this for the first time. I've passed by here many and many a times, but I've not actually stopped, because I'm always driving through with clients. I'm always checking out. 1 second. Disculpe, señorita. Muchas gracias. I'm always on my way to Playa Mariana. So, but when you'd come into San Rafael del Sur, this is where you come by and shop locally for all your stuff. And that's what makes life in these countries, whether it's Nicaragua or Costa Rica or Panama or Mexico. The goal is to get into the local culture and to see what life really is all about. Well, that was almost an accident between the taxi and the car. They work hard, right? Look at bicycle taxis. So one of the things that I've always loved about Nicaragua is the people generally are very friendly, okay? Especially outside of the main city, although I won't complain about the main city ever. But when you get into these local towns, although this one's not so small, but you see that, how that lady just kind of like jumped on that little ride, they sort of negotiate their way in and around. Now, do you guys remember how much I paid for that watermelon in the previous video? I paid 140 quarts. They didn't have any melons, and the pineapple was a big one, but it was 70. So I'm going to ask how much. Señor, disculpe, su sandía, ¿cuánto vale por una sandía aquí?
100 Córdoba.
100 Córdoba. Oh, 100 Córdoba es un bien precio. Y por el piña, los piñas es chiquita. Los piñas, ¿cuánto vale por la piña?
30 valen eso.
30? That's más o menos un bien precio. Okay, gracias. So I may have paid too much for the watermelon up in El Crucero because this one's only 100. I paid 140 up north. That's okay. So that looks like another little market in there. You guys want to go see? Nah, we'll do that another time. Let's just keep walking. It's now 10 o'clock on a Saturday. So it's Saturday today, and I have some clients coming at 11. I'm only about 25 minutes from Playa Mariana from here. So we have a good 20-25 minutes, so I arrive on time. Because I don't generally like to be late for my meetings. So it's kind of funny because I think, and I could be wrong, I may be the only foreigner walking through the entire town of 80,000 people right now, which is actually kind of cool to me. Here looks like there's a bit of a flea market shop going on. Talk about stuff falling off the back of the truck. Let's see what else. See how busy it is? This is Saturday, 10 o'clock, and so this is typical Nicaraguan life here daily in San Rafael del Sur, because pretty much I think every time I've driven through here, it looks exactly like this. It's busy. It's busy. And this is, I've been wanting to do this for so long. Like, you don't understand. For 20 years I've been driving by these towns, and some of them I stopped in, but most of the times I'm with clients just for time factors. There never seems to be enough time to stop. And you've been watching all the videos and all the emails and the development of the land and meeting with architects and designers and civil engineers and shopping and quotations and answering messages. You know, you live in the country, but you don't always get a chance to get out into the country. That's probably the one thing that I'm trying to change moving forward, is that you really want to take the time to experience what the country has to offer. So let's just keep walking. I'm not tired yet, and I got at least 20 minutes where I can just keep walking on this kind of city-wide tour. So if you want to see where we came from, I'm going to spin around. So look, so we've been going in that direction. Sorry, we've been coming from that direction, and we're moving along on this little tour. We're checking out street food. Okay. All right. Now, I think we're going to get into the busy time. Now, if that wasn't busy, now we're getting into a different area. I think we're about 40% of the way down, and San Rafael del Sur. So this continues straight like this. So the importance of the community. I'll tell you a funny story. You guys want to hear a funny story? I remember back in the day when we were developing the property, I got this call one day, and my operations girl, she said, "Kevin, we got a problem." I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" There's always problems. But I was like, "What is it this time?" Well, she goes, "Well, I got a call from the municipality, and apparently, okay, somebody set up a shop in one of these places in and around this area in one of the markets, and they were charging at that point 20 Cordobas for people to fill in an application to work for our project. They heard that we were hiring, and if some person paid $20, 20 pesos Cordobas that is, that they could fill in their application." So naturally what happened was there was all these people that lined up. I can't remember now the exact number, so I'm not going to make one up. But the thing was, they were letting us know of this particular situation that went on. So I'm like, okay. So of course they were asking if we were the ones that had brought the people to accept the applications, and we said no. So I think what happened was, it wasn't a lot of money. Maybe it turned out to be like a couple $100s. But back then that's a lot, because a couple $100 is like 200 people. So a lot of people wanted to work for the project, which was, for me, I was like, oh, that's really good. This is good market research. And now we know in one day we can get 200 applications for people looking for work. and we wouldn't even have to charge. But we know that there's a huge amount of labor pool of people to draw from to come and work, and this is where it is. So there's two parts to that story. One, we gave back all the money to the municipality for anybody who complained, and hopefully the people who paid their 20 Cordobas got it back. But if not, it did give us very good research to know that we can come in here anytime, probably set up a booth, talk to the municipality at one of their events, start accepting applications. But that's only half the story, because you still have to work. Now, why that's important is because when it comes to hospitality and star ratings, perhaps you know this or you don't know this, but usually every star that a place is accounts for the number of employees that you have to have per room working in the resort. So for example, if you have a 4-star place, that means you need 4 employees per room. If you have, let's say, 40 rooms, times 4, that's 160 employees. Now, that's not 160 employees because everything's open 24/7. So usually what you have to do is double that for people that don't show up, people that you fire. So you have to have close to 300 people to work just in, let's say, let's call it 50-room hotel, always in rotation. And there's training programs that get involved with that, and workers and how they get to the project, and what buses do you bring them in on, where do they stay, where do they eat, where do they go to the bathroom, where do they walk, all those sort of things. See, you want to go on a taxi ride now? Listo? Dígame, ¿cuánto vale por, let's say, 1 kilómetro?
¿Por dónde?
Sí.
Aquí venga.
¿Ya? ¿Que vende aquí? ¿Quién? ¿Allá? ¿Cómo se llama? Luis, ¿cuánto vale por un kilómetro más o menos?
1 kilómetro más o menos, ¿hasta dónde? ¿A la gasolinera?
Sí, exacto.
¿Ida y venida?
No, solo en dirección.
¿Solo ida?
Sí.
50.
50, la otra muchacha dice 20. ¿Por qué 50? look, they're all laughing. They're all laughing. 50 pesos. You know what? 50 pesos está bien. Estoy contento. Es mucho trabajo, es fuerte, ¿sí?
Correcto, solo.
¿Y cómo se llama?
Luis.
Luis. Okay, we're gonna go for a ride. All right. I'm taking Luis's ride. Hey, no, un momentito. Yo dice con la otra muchacha. Okay, primero, yo vivo aquí. Okay, yo trabajando a 8,000.
8,000.
Yeah, so yo dice a la otra muchacha, yo necesito negocio con los muchachos por la bici. So, ¿cuánto vale por la distancia de la punto allá, de totalmente allá? Y dice 20, no más. So, dice 50, I'm like, okay, doble. ¿Cuánto vale por la presión, por la caja de chile presión? 50 es la precio de chile, ¿sí? Yeah, 20 por local. Yeah, he's laughing. Sí, he's laughing, because he knows.
La motito taxi, que
Sí.
va. Esa, más nada.
Oh, para taxi moto.
Moto, pero
Ok, dale recto. Totalmente, sí.
Correcto.
Masachapa.
¿Ah?
Okay. Masachapa 50, perfectamente, let's go. No. 8,000 viejo, no, dale. Sí, listo. Masachapa, let's go. Ok, 100 por Masachapa, ¿no? ¿Cuánto vale por Masachapa? No vale. Okay, so I finally got on one of these bicycles with Luis, and this is what I want. There's my driver, Howard. He's in the car. I don't like calling him a driver, but just for today, we'll call him a driver. He's more than that. He's my buddy. So let's take a ride. This is actually kind of nice. So very interesting. So I think I walked the hard part. Well, no, it's not true. Not the hard part. The more interesting part here in the square. This is the main typical square of San Rafael. So you have the church, the iglesia, and this is where the municipality office is, also where you come and pay your property taxes and do all that kind of stuff. This is where we come to this is where we received our development permit from, our water permit from. We also got the construction permit for our development in this location. So this is the municipality in this square. Now it used to be you can park in there, but they blocked all that off now, which is probably pretty good because it's more enjoyable for people to go in there. And so this is, you know what, we did get through the more cultural parts on that walking tour, so that was really great. So this is actually a lot and very relaxing compared to walking. And so just enjoy the vistas. We're on our way to Playa Mariana today. I'm not sure when you're watching this video. We're at about 20 minutes right now. This is amazing. So we've been developing this property, Playa Mariana, for 20 years now, since 2006. It hasn't always been easy, as I mentioned. We went through a whole bunch of stuff, good times, bad, financial crashes. But we are under construction right now, and this is the exciting part. But San Rafael del Sur is an amazing location where you can find everything that you need in and around this area. And what you're gonna find here, we're gonna go look afterwards. I hopefully have time today, but I wanna go by the hospital. There's a really big hospital here, and that's gonna be important for everybody to know and see. So as you can see, from hardware stores to pharmacies to the Happy Goes and Super 7s and the little palais, the little mini markets, the fruit, there is no shortage of things for you to buy here to help support your stay at your house in Nicaragua, and more specifically at Playa Mariana, of course. Now, you're watching this video, so let me tell you, February 19th, that's this Thursday coming up, all right? Today's the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day if you're scrolling through and skipping chapters in this video. And Thursday at 3 o'clock Pacific, we have our real estate launch of home sites and beachfront condominiums. And we're gonna have our entire team at my office house in Granada live. We're gonna be doing a number of interviews on site with them, so you have an opportunity to see what's available, the pricing, understand the construction timeline, the mindset behind the interior design and architecture, and where we're going with the general components of Playa Mariana in Nicaragua. And it's gonna be amazing. I've never done something like this. I've done like 100 different presentations all across the world, many different webinars. In fact, just last month, I recorded 6 hours of live presentation over 5 days on our One Country Way Challenge. And that was amazing. I'm not sure if you watched it or not, but I highly recommend it. We're teaching people how to buy real estate overseas and avoid the common mistakes that people make. And being a real estate developer in Nicaragua for such a long time, 2 decades, I told people what no real estate developer or agent wants you to know. We got into how you, so many things, I'm not even gonna spoil it, but that's what we're dealing with. So I think he's slowing down because we're coming close to the end, but we'll see. ¿Cansada? No, no cansado? La parte siento. Okay, está bien. So perfect. So we're coming close to the end of our bike ride here, and we've seen almost everything that we need to see in San Rafael del Sur. From this particular point, we're about 4 or 5 kilometers to Masachapa, and then from there, it's about 8 kilometers more to Pochimil and on to Playa Mariana. So I really hope you enjoyed this video of San Rafael del Sur here in Nicaragua. 13 kilometers to Masachapa. Masachapa is 8 kilometers to Playa Mariana. My name is Kevin Fleming, the founder, the chairman of Grupo Mariana. This is my Nicaragua that I share with my wife, who introduced this country to me so long ago. I remember the first night we met, she told me, I'm moving to Nicaragua. And I was like, tell me more about Nicaragua. Crazy people, they're not scared of anything.